So far we have learned that an interval is the distance between two notes and certain types of intervals that exist within a scale. For example, the major intervals, the minors, and the perfect. Today we're going to take a look at the intervals of the 6th and 7th. As you can see, I have taken an example of C major scale and the C minor scale showing all the intervals between the tonic and each degree of the scale. When looking at intervals, you need to take a look at it from the lowest note to the highest. Take the scale from the lowest note and count steps up within the scale to find your interval. For example, in the C major scale, C to C is a unison, and C to D, which is the second degree of the C major scale, is a second, so we call it a major second. And C to E is the third degree of the scale, so we have a major third. So just note that every scale has the same type of intervals between each degree of the scale. There are types of intervals that are common for both scales, as you can see, which is the unison, major second, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, and the perfect octave. So let's take a look at the ones that changes for a minor scale. The minor third, minor sixth, and the minor seventh. So let's focus on the minor sixth and the seventh today. If you take the interval of 6th and the 7th in the major scale, they will both be major 7th and major 6th. But in a minor scale, it would be a minor 6th and the minor 7th. There's also another way that you can count the intervals by using the semitones apart. So a minor 6th will have 8 semitones apart, or 8 half steps. And a major interval will always have 1 semitone plus from the minor interval. So if a minor sixth has 8 semitones, a major sixth will have 9 semitones, 8 plus 1. And the minor seventh will have 10 semitones apart, and the major interval will have 10 plus 1 equals 11 semitones. Let's take a listen to each of these intervals. So here's a major sixth from C to A. And your minor sixth from C to A flat. And your major seventh from C to B. And finally, your minor seventh from C to B flat. This is because the C minor scale has the relative major key of E flat major, where we have B flat, E flat, and A flat in our key signature. Let's take a look at your exercises on page 29. The first question, you have to name the following intervals. So you can see the first one, there's a F and a D. So you're going to take it from F to D. Always remember to take the interval from the lowest note to the highest. So in the F major scale, D is the 6th degree. F, G, A, B, C, D have 6 steps up. So for a minor sixth, you have 8 semitones apart. So you can count and see from F to D, we have 9 steps. So if you have 8 plus 1, it will be a major sixth. If you know your scales, the F major scale has a natural D. You know that there are no sharps or flats except the B flat on the, so you can take it as a major sixth. If you want to double check, you can count the semitones up or down. The next one from C to A. Okay, they have not given you the key signatures this time, so you can take it from C major scale. In the C major scale, we have all white notes, so this is also going to be a major sixth from C to A. C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay, then you have the next one again from F to E. Now you know the E is the 7th degree. The one before the tonic is always a 7th. So F to E F, G, A, B, C, D, E. In the F major scale, E is a natural note, so you can take it as a major seventh. Okay, so for a major seventh, you have 11 semitones apart, so you can count if you like. The next one is a D to C. Now you know in the D major scale we have a key signature of two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. So naturally from D to C is a seventh. So whether it's a major seventh or minor seventh, just by looking at the sharp that is missing here, you can take it as a minor seventh, because in the D major scale you will have a C sharp, but here it's not a C sharp. It's lowered one step. So if you count semitones up from D to C, you will have 10 semitones for a minor seventh. Okay, so let's complete the rest of the intervals like that. C to B. Next one is again C, D, E, F, G, A, B. We have a seventh. In the C major scale, B is a natural, as we have all white keys, so we can take this as a major seventh. And the next one is the G to E. So now we are going to take it from the G major scale. G, A, B, C, D, E. That's a sixth. So we know that there's only an F sharp in your key signature for G major. So the E is always a natural. So we can take this as a major sixth. Okay. So it's important to know your scales and the key signatures. Next one is from D to C sharp. Now in the scale of D major, we have an F sharp and a C sharp. So this one's clearly a major seventh. And then you have the last one from G to F. G, A, B, C, D, E, F. So it's a seventh. And you know the G major scale has an F sharp in the key signature, but this one's not an F sharp, it's an F natural. So it's been lowered one step, and you can take this as a minor seventh. G to F will have 10 semitones for a minor seventh. Let's complete the others just like that. So here we have a mix of melodic intervals plus harmonic intervals without the key signatures again. So all types of intervals that we have learned so far is given here. If your intervals are moving from space to space or line to line, you can take them as thirds. In the scale of D major, we have an F sharp, so we can take this as a major third in the scale of D major. And the next we have G to B flat. Now you know that G major scale does not have a B flat, it has only one F sharp. So naturally the major third will be from G to B, but in this case the B has been lowered one step down, so it can be taken as a minor third. Okay, if you can remember the semitones, you also can double check. A minor third will have 3 semitones, a major third will have 3 plus 1, that means 4 semitones. So if you study all the intervals of minors, you can figure out the majors, or study the majors and then you can figure out the minors by subtracting 1 semitone from each major interval. So you don't have to worry about when it comes to intervals of 5th, 4th and 8th. They will always be perfect intervals, whether it's a minor scale or major scale. So this one's a perfect 5th, and the next is D to G, again a perfect 4th. Next is a unison. Next is an octave. The interval of 8th, we call it a special name, which is an octave. So you can call it a perfect octave. Take note of the flat here. So you have to take this from G to B flat is a minor third. You will have 3 semitones apart. So the best way you can double check is by counting the semitones up. That way you won't go wrong. But just know how these intervals are formed using the scale degrees. So you can use both methods. On some places you can count the semitones. Alright, so I'm done with this question. You can complete up to page 30 and send your answers. I'll see you next time.